Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and here we have the PMP Berserker. I have not opened it up yet, so we are going to experience this together. And you can see right there, if you want to pause, I have not opened this thing up. You can see it's still, look at that packaging. Holy cow, it's like a firearm package. I have not opened this up yet, as you can see. This thing is a beast. Wow. Look at that clip. Oh, it's such a good looking clip. Looks like it'll work good, but it's right next to the Glock part cutout. We'll see about that. We'll see about it. Very cold. It just came in. Look at that blade. Holy. Yeah. Wow, that thing is a beast. What does that say? PMP Berserker. We have a Americanized drop point Tanto, or a clip point Tanto, I guess, because it does clip down or drop down, call it what you want. Tanto, thick geometry, definitely on the robust side. This is something you could definitely be a little bit tougher on. Good access to the lock bar, but look how they did it. It's like they chamfered it on one side, on both sides, and then kind of cut it back just right there. Works really good. And it is drop shut smooth. I haven't oiled it or anything yet. Heavy milling on the inside to bring down the weight, but it definitely has some weight to it, like PMPs do. Full, or not full, half. So it is a titanium backspacer, about halfway up the blade, or halfway up the handle. Do we have a steel lock bar insert? Yeah, we do have a steel lock bar insert, but you don't see the hardware. So it's only screwed in from the inside. The screw doesn't come all the way through. That's kind of cool. What kind of stop pins do we have? We have a regular shouldered stop pin. Rock solid lockup. Ergonomically, it's very comfortable. When I really squeeze, I can feel this a little bit. But if I'm just hanging on to it like this, I don't feel it. I can choke up, and they do give you a little spot to choke up with. Reverse grips, you could definitely pull it off. Pinch grips, 100%. Yeah, this thing is a beast. What a beast. I got to try this clip really quick. I'm just going to try it right here. Oh, yeah, works good. Hell yeah. No, the clip works great. Smooth in and out of the pocket. The ramp goes right in. I had no problems coming out. It's got enough, contact point that it just slides right out. Nice big hardware all the way around. Looks like T8 hardware all the way around. This fuller is not a usable fuller because there's just no place to get it. But the flipping action and jimping on the flipper is done extremely well. Look at that jimping. Perfect jimping on the flipper tab. Nice and grippy. The detent has a nice break to it. Let's see if I can fail it. You can fail it, but you have to try. If you just attempt to flip it, it'll flip every time. Yeah, this thing is a beast, man. What a cool knife. And we see a lot of the same old. And I like that. I do like the same old because I like knives that are useful. I like knives that I want to carry, that I want to work with, that I would carry day to day. I love those type of knives, the knives that are, that work the best, right? But I need some crazy every now and then. I need a little flavor. And this is definitely a little bit of flavor. Nice and thick and robust. The geometry is just, it's crazy thick. Let's measure behind the edge thickness really quick. Let's take that. I imagine it's probably not too crazy right behind the edge, but the geometry is definitely on the thicker side. So let me zero this out. Right behind the edge is 25 thousandths, and then on the Tanto area, which is probably gonna be a little bit thicker, 27 thousandths. So 25 thousandths right behind the edge here, 27 thousandths right behind the edge in the middle. So Yeah, it's thick, but the blade stock thickness is also a little bit beefy at 157 thousandths, almost 160 thousandths. They probably have it listed at 160. But I have no doubt that it won't still cut pretty good, especially, with these ergos. You really, it almost feels like you're holding a fixed blade. And you have the secondary tip right here. You can open things up with it. You can pierce that into things and cut through it. And that tip is very pointy, so that you're going to be able to still use that too, or the secondary tip. So that's very cool. And this thing has that robustness to, personally for me, and I'm not telling you to do this because it'll probably void your warranty, but personally for me, I would have no problem prying with this. This would be a pry bar for me. Not just a pry bar. I would obviously cut with it too, but I'm just saying I wouldn't shy away from shoving this in something and prying something apart. The blade steel, what is the blade steel? I didn't even check. What is the blade steel? Did the card say? I think the card said it. The blade steel is M390. Okay, so it's not a super tough steel, but the geometry makes up for that. I'm guessing it's not a super hard M390, so I'm sure it'll be just fine, just fine. Now, batoning and things like that, I don't know if I'd go that far. It is still, a frame lock. It does have an over travel stop, so you're not going to unspring the lock. But then again, I don't know. I know if it was disengaged and I put it on a piece of wood and I chopped it through, I think it'd be just fine. But in all reality, who's really batoning things? I could see maybe you need to cut a cord or a strap or something and you put it on there and then hit the spine of it. I could see that. But, actually batoning wood, who really does that? Usually you just find the sticks that you need at the size you need. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen and that from time to time you might not need to, especially if you're camping or something, but usually you're not batoning. Anyways, this thing is a beast, and yeah, it's got a smile on my face for sure. Man, this action is so good. And that blade's going to drop. It's so damn heavy. Perfectly centered. And like I said, this thing feels a vault-like. Now, let's go over some complaints I have, right? So, you can't do this video without some criticism. One, you know what? I was going to complain about the choil, but I can't. The choil's done good. Good job. They separated from the end of the plunge grind. So, yeah, no, good job. And I can always repeat this. So after sharpening, say if I want to lay back my edge angle and now I take up this little bit of metal, I can add this little notch right back there very, very easily. So that's cool. So no, the sharpening tool is good. But one complaint I do have, this thing is a hoss, right? I wish the stop pin was just a little bit bigger. I'm not saying it's a small stop pin. It's not small. It is a big stop pin, and I'm sure it's just fine. It's got a nice shouldered lockup. The lockup is very, very solid, even with a slow roll. So I know it locks up rock solid, but, I like, especially with something like this, I want to see that stop pin just be massive. I love it. For some reason, it just really tells me, yeah, this thing is super tough. When I see a nice, huge stop pin, yeah, I'm all over it. I love it. But, yeah, it's not like it has a small stop pin, so don't take it like that. But other than that, like I said, when I'm really bearing down, really squeezing it with all my might, I can feel the clip a little bit right here. But I can also avoid it pretty easily, So, next thing, I wish I could use the fuller. That is a thing. I wish the fuller came out a little bit, and I wish I could flick it. I know that doesn't, with this handle and this blade, it wouldn't be possible unless if they cut back this handle quite a bit. This would be the only way, which I think would have been cool, but it is what it is. This is the knife it is. But at least it has a little bit of design to, a design aspect to it. So, and it does look cool. You know, that thing looks super futuristic, super nasty, aggressive, and yeah. But anyways, I really don't have too many complaints, at least as of right now. I'd love to know the heat treat on, and I don't expect this to be a super hard M390, especially, you know, with it being a little bit more of a harder use knife, but I do not know their HRC or anything like that. But yeah, anyways, just a quick look at it, guys. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.